Hey, it's John F. Gately. Welcome back to the show. And today, in prosecutorial misconduct and stupidity, we have three different cases to bring to you today. It's wow, what the government will do when they think they have unlimited power. Let's bring up the first case here. And we made a video about this a couple of days ago. Breaking Doug Mackey, attorney, accuses Department of Justice withholding exculpatory information, demands mistrial. So the video we made a couple of days ago gives you a little more background on this particular case. But this is a case where Doug Mackey, a.k.a. Ricky Vaughn, sent out some memes in the 2016 election. And basically, it was one of those, I'm going to call it a joke, telling people to text in their vote, avoid the line. And it was kind of a spinoff on the don't forget to vote Wednesday joke. And theoretically, 4,900 people called this phone number that Ricky Vaughn posted on Twitter as part of a meme to text in their vote. But the government can't provide any of the actual victims that were disenfranchised. So it brings us to a trial here in New York City. I'm broadcasting to you from beautiful Plymouth, Massachusetts, but in New York City at the Brooklyn Courthouse. And it's an amazing story here, and you can cover it. The best outlet covering this is Revolver by far. But basically what happens, we have a letter here from Ricky Vaughn's attorney, and he says that as the trial began on its second day, the government handed him two statements that were basically evidence. In the middle of the trial, he was like, the government's like, here's two additional pieces of evidence. Now, I am not an attorney, but I was always of the impression that both sides had all the evidence going into the trial, that there should be no evidentiary surprises at the trial. There might be surprise relative to a witness and how believable they may be. That might be a surprise. But both sides should have all the evidence in the beginning. But according to this letter from Ricky Vaughn's attorney, he got two additional pieces of evidence, important pieces of evidence from the Hillary Clinton campaign on the second day of the trial. The government came up to him and said, hey, here's some extra evidence. And then by lunchtime, he said, hey, do you have any more of this similar evidence? And then they gave him 16 more files of evidence. So that was Tuesday. Now it's Thursday afternoon. And there doesn't seem to be anybody reporting live from the courthouse. So unfortunately, no one's really covered this. So, this might be updated later today or tomorrow, as the case may be. So the attorney being like, whoa, this is a Brady violation. The Brady violation is that, the government's got to provide all the information, including if it proves the defendant innocent or not guilty. And they're like, dude, this is mistrial, and this we should have a mistrial at the least, and a continuance if not a mistrial. So since we don't have a reporter, basically I can't find anybody on Twitter covering this live from the courthouse. This letter seems from the attorney for Ricky Vaughn, aka Mr. Mackey, seems that the prosecution is up to no good in terms of sandbagging the defense in this trial. Besides the fact, I'd just be like, dude, where are the victims? You got any victims? You said 4,900 people called. You got victims? No victims? You would think they could scrounge up like a dozen or 24 people who were wicked mad that they were disenfranchised. But I don't think the government has anybody. No one has come forward to say that they were actually victimized by this. You know why? Because it was a joke. And there is some evidence that the only people that called this number were people that called it after it got amplified by the media. So anyways, that's that. Now, the next story I want to bring up is about the Proud Boys. Now, I am not a big Proud Boy guy. They're a little bit around the bend for me, as far as I'm concerned. But I see a trend, prosecutorial misconduct, and we have to have faith in our justice system. Now, on the other hand, if you ever get indicted by the federal government, beware, because if you go to trial, you're probably gonna lose, right? But there are times where the prosecution, as we all are, right? The prosecution is their own worst enemy. Everyone is their own worst enemy, right? So let's take a look at this situation. This is from the Daily Caller. FBI informant was embedded in the January 6th defense of the Proud Boy defendants. So this is really, really weird. Basically, one of the defendants' witnesses, a witness for the defense, was also an FBI informant or a government informant. Just when you think the DOJ can't get any dirtier, says Julie Kelly, new motion filed by defense of Proud Boys trial accusing the DOJ of using an informant to spy on them, basically. And I think this is the money paragraph here. The source had been in electronic contact with one or more of the defense counsel and at least one defendant over that period, participated in prayer meetings with one or more of the defendants' families, and talked about the defendants' family members about replacing one of the defense counsels. It's like the government had a mole inside the defense team. Now, you've, of course, heard about the government infiltrating subversive organizations, right? That goes back to Hoover, right? That's not a new thing by the government. But you can't infiltrate the defense team. That is a fundamental breach of our justice system. That's corrupt. If this ends up to be true. So the filing, they filed, obviously, some lawyer stuff. Remember, I'm not a lawyer, thank God. Filing demanded the release of all FBI interview reports and Justice Department memos about recording and reporting on the defense team. I don't know if he'll actually get that, but wow. I mean, if you go to trial, you go to trial with the assumption that the government's not actually spying on your own defense team. Man, that is just infuriating. It really. I mean, I don't even know how to really say that, but it is infuriating. Let's go on to the next one. Alvin Bragg. So he's issued a letter today because basically Alvin Bragg, the DA from New York City, he got, how do I want to say this? There's no other, you can't sugarcoat this. He got outmaneuvered both legally and politically and public relations wise by Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump smushed him like a bug. I mean, this preemptive I'm going to get arrested business by Donald Trump. When did that come out? Almost a week ago, right? That was a master stroke in public relations, legal strategy, and political strategy, right? Just brilliant. You don't usually expect the defendant to promote the fact that they might get indicted. So right now, Alvin Bragg is complaining. Let's see if I can get this right. There we go. He's complaining. Let's see if we expand this here. That Donald Trump created a false expectation that he would be arrested the next day. And his lawyers reportedly urged you to intervene. This is in a letter he wrote to Jim Jordan in the House because, Jim Jordan's kind of running some interference for Trump. And, he got played big time. So we have two examples of what I would definitely consider prosecutorial misconduct. I mean, these statements in Mr. Mackey's trial, they're from 2016. It's not as if the government just took them last week. They're from 2016. And the government gives two of them mid-trial. And then when the defense attorney says, hey, do you have any more? Only when they're prompted, do you have any more, do they actually give the other 16. And then in the other trial, Proud Boys trial, they've got somebody basically as a mole in the defense. That's unbelievable. I cannot believe we live in this type of country. That's awful. Awful. Now, I know there's going to be some other people who say, oh, this is normal. Well, if it's normal, it doesn't make it right. And then there's going to be some people that's going to say, well, it's legal. It might be legal, but that doesn't make it right. All right. Well, hey, I'm John F. Gately from Plymouth, America's hometown. Sorry, did I just kick the camera? I think I just kicked the camera. In Massachusetts, behind enemy lines. Have a great day. Bye-bye.